The United States would not be called upon to act as the policeman of the world. When it acts, it would act in conjunction with others. Incidentally, the combination of manpower from Eastern Europe with the technical capabilities of NATO would greatly enhance the military potential of the partnership because it would reduce the risk of body bags for NATO countries, which is the main constraint on their willingness to act. This is a viable alternative to the looming world disorder.
Well, the NATO countries continue to insist they are not a party to the conflict, but this document from 1993, published by George Soros' Open Society Institute, gives a different impression. This document from 1993 lays out how the United States and its allies might be interested in using countries across Eastern Europe as proxies to fight Russia, and they could incur the losses that might make the conflict unpopular if NATO countries themselves were directly involved and it was their own soldiers who were doing the dying. Now, the coup in 2014, in which the United States overthrew the Ukrainian government and installed a fanatically anti-Russian group to power in Kiev, seems to match what this document put forward. What we generally hear in Western media is that Ukraine is simply under attack, turning for help from the democratic West. But Jeffrey Sachs of Columbia University, he recently came forward and said that's not the case.
The United States has overthrown dozens of governments. It definitely contributed to the overthrow of Yanukovych. And I know this from the inside, not just from the outside. So I just want to be clear that I know from top people involved in these issues what I'm discussing right now.
Now, the Soros document not only matches the situation where Kiev is having U.S. weapons piled into it and being supplied with weapons by the United States, it also matches that the government of Poland is very warmongering and hostile to Russia. And furthermore, if you look at the situation, there are some estimates that the Ukrainian casualty rate, we may have seen over 100,000 dead. They are being carried out and people are dying to serve NATO goals. And Kiev has recently admitted this. This is what's been said.
Today we are carrying out NATO's mission without the loss of their blood, but with the loss of ours. That's why they need to supply us with weapons.
And furthermore, we've had U.S. officials admit that this is indeed the purpose of the conflict in Ukraine. It's about serving NATO's goals.
The United States aids Ukraine and her people so that we can fight Russia over there and we don't have to fight Russia here.
Ultimately, I think this is a sound investment for U.S. national security because not only are we defending a country from authoritarian aggression, not only are we taking one of our biggest geopolitical competitors down several notches in the process, and we're doing it without U.S. boots on the ground in harm's way.
Now, it appears that the Yanukovych government in Ukraine wasn't the only government that the United States had its eyes on for stirring up some kind of regime change and perhaps using it against Russia.
Any place that you're looking at in terms of a potential regime change that could destabilize a region or the world?
Well, obviously, a big one would be Russia, but I don't think they're on the precipice there. I think things have to get worse economically, and there have to be many more body bags and, frankly, military losses before there's a change in the government in Moscow.
We have a very casual statement from Western leaders that they seek to utilize the lives of people across Eastern Europe and let them go out and die to serve their own political agenda. And it shows that this whole narrative where Ukraine is simply being targeted, it's a democratic country just begging for help, it doesn't fit at all. This is part of geopolitical maneuvers.